Steve, is this all about money at the end of the day, or is it more complicated than that? Is it about power? Is it about people being afraid to speak out because then they will be castigated like you? My point is it not because everyone has a direct financial interest? Is it more complicated than that?
Yeah, the thing is driven, once the Vaccine Act passed in '86, where they got immunity for these vaccines, then the drug companies looked at this as, well, I can not safety test my vaccine. All I have to do is make sure that the trials are sufficient to fool the FDA into approving my drug. And I've got a lifetime ticket here. And the states will mandate my vaccine for kids in school. And so it's a huge profit machine for these drug companies. And so the COVID trials, which showed a 90% reduction in the risk of getting COVID if you got the shots, those things were fraudulent. Those trials were completely fraudulent. There's no possible way that you can have a coronavirus where you've got a vaccine against coronavirus and that has 90% efficacy. Well, on our first try, isn't that amazing? Our first try, but it wasn't really, because people have been trying to develop coronavirus vaccines for a long time. I talked to Robert Malone about this, and he said, they might be able to get a 30% reduction. He said, in your wildest dreams, if everything were to perfectly align, the stars were to align, and everything is perfect, you had a perfect storm, you might be able to get maybe 30% efficacy. But he said 90%, no possible way. And all of the evidence that I've seen shows that these vaccines are not preventing infection. In fact, they're doing the opposite. We have data from the Santa Clara, my own local health community, Santa Clara Department of Public Health. I got a FOIA request response, and I looked at it. It's about 117,000 records, and it shows that there was 98% of the people who were diagnosed with COVID were vaccinated. This is in January of 2020. Now, today, about 95% of the people in Santa Clara County are fully vaccinated, but it wasn't even that high. But even if 95% of the people were vaccinated in January of 2020, you can't have a 98% of the people that are diagnosed with COVID being vaccinated. That means the vaccines made things worse. It's the same thing that we found in the Cleveland Clinic study and in other surveys. The vaccines actually made it more likely for you to get COVID. And then there was a study published in April, I think it was April 17th, 2023 in JAMA. It was a paper about a VA study where they looked at hospitalization of the table 1, which is the sort of the pre-treatment. Table 1 showed that the percentages of the vaccinated amongst it was comparing COVID virus versus flu virus, and it compared hospitalization rates. And it looked at your vaccination status. If you got vaccinated, if you got hospitalized for COVID, what was your COVID vaccination status and what was your flu vaccination status? And if you got hospitalized for the flu, what was your COVID vaccination status and flu vaccination status? And the vaccination statuses of the two groups were identical, which means that neither vaccine prevented the infection that it was designed to prevent. Neither vaccine worked. It was proof in table 1. It's supposed to be in table 2 that the proof is, because that's the experiment. But this was in table 1. And so anybody who reads the medical literature and knows how to read these studies, you look at that and you say, my God, this thing just proved that the COVID vaccine is completely ineffective, and the flu vaccine is completely ineffective as well in reducing hospitalizations, which means also it doesn't prevent deaths either, and it doesn't prevent infections. And so I pointed this out to the author of the paper. And I said, you really should write to the journal and say that you realize something that you didn't realize when you first wrote the paper, which is that your paper showed that the vaccines, the COVID vaccines and the flu vaccines are a total joke. And he said, I don't have time to do that. Wow. This is like the best discovery that I've seen in the medical literature. And he said he didn't have time to write up the one paragraph to do that. And I asked him for an explanation, and I said, look, if I'm wrong, if the vaccines are effective, how do you explain these results? And he basically said, I can't explain the results. We didn't look into that, and we didn't do the studies to explain that. So I can't explain that. Now, it's obvious what the explanation is. It doesn't work. And so I'm like, I can't get a debate on this stuff to save my life. I tried to get the Santa Clara Department of Public Health or Media Relations. I've been calling them every day since I saw this data, like every day. I'm emailing them as well. And there's no response from these people. I said, look, this makes it look like, you're misleading the public. What's going on here? No response. So I'm going to escalate that. And I'm looking at bringing a lawsuit against them because in California, you're not, as a member of the government, you're not allowed to mislead the public. You're allowed to have free speech, but your speech cannot be misleading. And they're doing misleading speech. And so I'm going to try to get an injunction to require them to mention that when you get you should get your COVID shot and increase your risk of getting COVID, because that's what they should be telling people. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, the courts will probably deny it because the courts in California, unfortunately, are not paying any attention to the science. They're just deferring the science to the so-called experts and don't want to get weighed into that. So we'll see what happens.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is, that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.